Good morning, Kindle Kids, and welcome to your January 11th, Monday. And I got a quick question for you. What do you call Mona Lisa on a Monday? Well, obviously, Monday Lisa. Yeah, I'm sorry about that one. Really bad art joke. Anyways, let's start the day with a little bit of interesting information. Did you guys know that way back in 1838, the first public demonstration of the telegraph was sent using dots and dashes using Samuel Morse's code? And it's really cool because the telegraph was this machine where you connected two wires to complete a circuit, and it sent a signal each time those lines were connected. Well, by simply mechanically separating the two, you ended up being able to make a message. Morse code is really amazing because not only could you use things like flashlights and lights to send signals that way, this also allowed you to use that same language that Samuel Morse came up with to send information nearly instantaneously across extremely long distances. So that meant that we ended up putting an infrastructure together with what we call telephone poles. Well, really at the time were telegraph poles. I mean, to let you know how important this was, people really thought this was some sort of wizardry or magic to an extent. It was just this really amazing piece of technology that changed the world. So much so that they actually sailed boats across the Atlantic Ocean, burying this wire underneath the ocean. And it's just a pretty incredible feat to think about that. I mean, can you imagine the amount of wire required? It's pretty wild. And before that, you didn't really have a lot of other good options. I mean, not a lot of good ways of communicating over long distances. So this made a huge difference in any number of ways of life, but basically became something we needed just to function as a society. So for Samuel Morse's invention of the Morse code, that was a pretty big deal. So, hats off to you, buddy. Who could imagine how far technology would get in the future and how much it would affect the way we get things done? Communication, right, guys? So let me communicate something to you. Let's put our hands over our hearts, find the flag in the room, and please rise for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Well, instead of doing dots and dashes like Samuel Morse would have done, let's talk about food. Today we have a ham sandwich along with a cheeseburger with bun, vegetarian beans, California blend vegetables, juice, and milk. So a nice selection going right there. With the weather today, well, guess what, guys? The weather is going to be much of what we dealt with last week. We're dealing with warmer than usual temperatures, actually extremely warm for both today, Thursday, and Friday of this week. Looking at a high all the way to 40 degrees today, and then up a little bit above that, 41 on Thursday and Friday. It'll drop down for Tuesday and Wednesday just a little bit, but we have a nagging precipitation throughout the week. Could potentially be a little case of flurries today as some of the higher altitude winds are keeping it cold enough to actually support those initial flurries, but they will melt and turn to wet snow as they come down lower in the atmosphere. Throughout the rest of the week, it's going to be rain as the possibility, so really not that exciting, and it's going to be very cloudy and gray. Yay, we haven't had nearly enough of that so far. But remember that polar vortex is about to be disturbed and is on the way, so we're looking at colder temperatures seeking us in the next week or so. But for today, what the warmer weather means is that, yes, we will have some playground time as long as it's not too wet outside. So remember to put on a little of that warm weather clothing and enjoy some of your recess time. So why don't we enjoy the end of our announcements with that right piece of information, that Kendall mission statement. The mission of the Kendall Central School District to provide the knowledge, skills, values, and attitudes needed by students to live responsibly and to compete successfully in today's and tomorrow's world. Well, I hope you guys have a fantastic Monday, and just in case I don't get a chance to see you, remember to stay colorful, Kendall.